Reading. Hi, I'm Melissa Wright. So you may have seen recently on social media, whichever platform, that I got my poetry collection in the mail. So I took a couple pictures of the box, opening the box, and inside the box, and then holding it, and it's a real thing now. So that's super exciting. I have a few signed copies for sale. You can also buy it on my bookshop store, which I'll link below. Soon it'll also be in some other retailers like Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It'll be available for purchase there. Those links will be added to my bookshop page once they're ready. So it's exciting. It's really set in now that I have it in my hands that this is really happening. So that's really exciting. So for today's video, I'm going to be reading a couple of the poems that are in the collection. Right off the bat, I need to explain. Sometimes I have two titles for a poem. This one, the first one I'm going to read is one of those poems. So it's both the poem, self-scripting poems, or Sands and Words. Why do I so often write poems about poems? Why can those words not stay locked inside my head? I don't know, but they find their way to paper on their own when they make a flow, a river of words etching into my mind, my internal fabric. Sometimes past poems will flow again, partially, never in whole. Yet somehow I avoid writing the same lines twice. Amazing how that can be when sometimes creativity is fleeting and fleeing, but something springs up, gains life and warmth, later depth and breadth, gaining a voice I cannot control. The words on their own have always flowed without my personal intervention. I don't know how, but everything writes itself, though I may have said such before, I cannot place quite when. The words are my power, but the sands of time is all they bring. A lot of times I'll just get thoughts in my head that I'm like, oh, this is a good poetry idea. These are just like random thoughts that sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't make sense, but they sound nice. I'm like, I should write this down. And then it just like turns into a poem and like spirals. And it's almost as though like I don't have conscious control of what the thoughts are, but they just keep going. And so I just write them down. And sometimes that results in really good poems, and other times it results in crazy nonsense poems, and sometimes it results in poems that just aren't very good. It's not always how I write, but if I do get ideas that go that way and I just write down whatever I'm thinking, sometimes that's what I get. The next poem I'm going to read is called Expression. This is a really short one. Some things can't be said in words, not even in your thoughts. It simply can't be expressed that way. So I thought of this poem specifically because I've had a lot of times where I'll be like, I'm thinking about something and I can't tell, like I know what I'm thinking about, but it's not something I could tell someone what I was thinking about, because I'm like, I know what I'm thinking about, but it's not in words, and I can't put it in words, either right now or at all. This one is called Ironically. No writing, obviously. I haven't written a word today. I haven't even tried. Not a single silver word. I've kept them trapped inside. Now there is a struggle, a conflict I haven't heard. The words want me to free them, but I'm holding them captive so they won't thwart my attempts at writing when that time it comes again. The next one I'm going to read is called Authorial Present or Dream Investments. This is another one with two titles. What if I begin to write once again, to refine my craft each day with time? I'll find myself, one day, with such a store of experience and writings, oh, such galore. I'll not regret that time well spent, my investment in my authorial present. For a writer's not born with talent and skill, but honed and created through the daily toil. I'm trying to find the next poem. I know it's in here. It's for sure in here. These are not in order. My list is not in order. Oh, so the next poem has two titles. One of them is super short, Clarify. The other one is Dead Men Cannot Defend Against False Claims. Quite a mouthful. So for a simple way to refer to this one, you can just call it Clarify. One day I might have need to clarify what I mean by various lines or works or kinds of characters and events. Surely all be misinterpreted, as authors all must be, especially when they're dead and can't explain their meaning. That is not it at all. That is not what I meant at all. Maybe what I must say. Then they'll ask for an explanation, which I'll surely be happy to give. I'll answer the question, set the tale right, be interpreted as intended. But how convoluted will their claims be after I lost all my hair or any simple flair identifying me as an individual? So this kind of brings in a discussion of author's intention versus like interpretation by readers. I don't want to go into the debate because this is not the video for that, and I do want to point out I didn't put a footnote in the collection, but the lines, there's 2 lines. That is not it at all, that is not what I meant at all. That's a T.S. Eliot quote. That's actually from one of his poems, I believe. I don't remember which poem. I'm really sorry. So, link to that poem, whichever one it came from, in the description below. If you want to read his poem as well, I'm sure it was good. I don't really remember. I don't know which one it was. Sorry. So the next one I'm going to read is called Thought Block, or Partially Formed Thoughts. It's too far from the reaches of my mind. An idea formed, it won't come to my eyes. Almost inspiration, trickling perspiration, as I work to overcome the thought block that prevents me from unlocking the partial, half-formed thought I had. It's still not quite there. As time passes, it fades into air, drifting further from consciousness, from any semblance of acknowledgement, but I caught a whisper, a breath of whatever was there. I simply didn't catch quite enough of it. A lot of this collection is poems about not having inspiration, about losing what I was thinking, or trying to write and not having anything to write. There's actually a poem, it wasn't on the list, but I'm going to read this one now. It's called, I'm going to look at the table of contents and find out where I put this poem. Okay. It's on page 27. There are no page numbers. I forgot to put page numbers in the document for the collection. So there's not actually any page numbers in here. I just forgot about that and didn't think about it for some reason. So there's no page numbers. There's page numbers in the table of contents, but there are no page numbers in the rest of the book. It's on page 27, and it's not numbered. There's no numbers on this page, so yeah, I did great. Such a good job. I'm gonna write numbers in mine, because I can't find the poems anymore, apparently. So this one's called, this is what I was getting around to, When You Force Yourself to Write Without Finding Inspiration First. Inspiration ridiculed me today, so I'm sorry but there's no poem, as I failed to even think or say anything in a poetic way, so you get this horrendous forcing of words about my lack of writing. I apologize in advance. That's one of my favorites, just because of the sheer irony. The last one I'm going to read is Nonsensical Sensicality. So many expressions, why can't we say what we mean? Our language is all skewed together, no clarity outside of the surreality. The dreamlike sensicality of nonsensical things, the not-reallys of this world, are all but few and far between. No wonder language is the hardest of all things. So, that was the last poem I was going to read for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out the other videos I'm going to be posting, reading some other related poems from this collection, or not from this collection. Some poems related to this collection very soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.